Yo, that's crazy. I'm on Polygon right now,
Okay.
and the website has a banner like what to watch, what to play, games, entertainment, right? And
Mhm.
on that same thing, it has a Tears of the Kingdom guide at the top.
Okay.
With their banner. And it's a whole thing, like interactive weapons, all the armor sets, the ruins, locations, best armor, lost woods, as literally everything, the whole guide. In their own banner, like just
In
that
just
one
the
game.
banner?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Like it's all, I'm just on Polygon.com and it's about the announcements for Gamescom, right? And
Yeah.
in the banner where it says Polygon, it has Tears of the Kingdom guide, what to watch, what to play, games, entertainment guides, merch. Literally, Tears of the Kingdom, the guide is in the banner. Like, people go to Polygon every day just for that. Like, it's crazy.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I mean, it's cool, but like, that's crazy. That's insane. Like, it's in the banner.
That's a lot of work for just a banner.
Like, you gotta click it. It's gotta drop down. You can put all that shit in. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They have an extensive. They have an interactive map for it. Let me go back. Oh my god, this is crazy.
You know what? I'm gonna use this as the intro. Welcome to the Loading Up podcast. Because I was waiting. We were recording. I started it a little bit later, so that way we had enough time to like when I edit it. But I was just like, you know what? That's a good intro.
That's a good intro.
Welcome to the Loading Up podcast. I'm your host, Producer J. I'm with my co-host, Brother Zay. What's up?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what? Like we're recording this a day late because we some things came up. We were recording on Thursdays. They'll never know. Behind the scene. But you know what? I feel like every time we push the recording back like a day, because we record on Thursdays, and then we if we have to, we push it back on Fridays. I feel like every time we do that, there's stuff that comes out.
Yeah,
like,
more news comes out.
Yeah, right as we're like, so it's like it makes it easier to like get all the news.
It's true. More stuff comes out, and we just get some more ammo for all our listeners.
Right. Also, so you're gonna hate me. I forgot to switch the thing on the YouTube, so we've been talking, but there's nothing showing. It's still recorded. So I'm going to just keep it in because we already started. It's whatever. But
oh my god.
It's all right. I'll fix it in post. So
Copy.
Yeah, you'll hear me say it, but you won't notice it, hopefully.
You got this.
Yeah. So what games you been playing?
So I was playing some Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that dropped
that's
officially
right. I forgot.
on the Game Pass.
I completely forgot about that.
Playing as the serial killers is really fun, but playing as the survivors is so stressful.
Is it like Dead by Daylight? Because I feel like whenever I play that game, I always want to play as the survivor. Is it like the opposite?
No, I mean, I think so. Because with the serial killers that you play as, it's like a team of 3, and there's 4 survivors. And it's not as easy as you may think with 3 killers. It can get tough. But I've never played very much of Dead by Daylight, and I was having a lot of fun as the serial killers in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I can't speak on Dead by Daylight very much because I don't have a lot of experience with it. I think I've maybe played like 2 games, but I played more games of Texas Chainsaw Massacre recently. So it was fun. It was good fun. I was trying to help I was playing with my brother, and we were serial killers. His first time playing, so we were laughing at the party. He was trying to figure out how to, be Leatherface, and I was like, you gotta rev up your chainsaw, rev it up. And he's trying to rev it up, and somebody tackled him. It was just good fun.
Damn, I need to try it out. I mean, I've been so focused on like my backlog. Yeah. So like, I finally, cause I took a break, cause I went on vacation, and then I took that like week to kind of like recuperate. I just felt I was so, even though I was still in the time zone, like the East Coast time zone, I felt like so drained from like travel. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't travel often. So
yeah.
But I took that like the week after to kind of like get back into the swing of things. And so this week I was actually playing more of Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 3, and I finally beat it.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. And also, I was playing, I don't remember if I mentioned this. I was playing the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yes.
The first one, the Man of Medan, Maiden, whatever. So we were playing that, and we had to kind of start all over because
you didn't know what you was doing.
no, not even that. There was a glitch, so they released a next gen update.
Oh yes, the glitch. I remember you telling us.
Yeah, there was a glitch, and we had to stop playing like after the first part of the game, and we didn't know when we were gonna be able to play again because I was looking up to see like if they had addressed it or if they were talking about it. And they said they did, but I didn't know. They didn't give a timetable, so I was like, okay, we'll just set this down, play something else, and eventually they did release the update. So we got back into that, and we actually beat it. It's really not that long of a story, but
No, it's not.
the whole thing is that you got to replay it, try to get the best ending. Yeah, obviously people died in our playthrough, so yeah, and it was so weird because like there was one character that died that I swear he didn't die. Like he fell, and then like I could have sworn he got right back up, and I was just like, oh, okay. So because he had a weapon in his hand, I was like, oh, you better get that weapon because you're gonna need it. And I remember saying that, but then later on it showed that he died from the fall, and I was like, wait what? And I was just so thrown off that I was just like, there's no way, and I had to question myself because they never confirmed that he actually died. And that was one of the weird things. I read, because we watched like some videos afterwards, and they were saying that there's some pacing issues with like certain decisions that you make and stuff like that. So we're probably gonna play through it again and hopefully try to like save everybody.
Well, there's more games in that collection, right?
Yeah. I bought I bought them on sale. It was like the first 3 games. I know there's 4. That one just came out, I think last year, or maybe it was a few months ago. I don't know. But and then there's the Quarry, but that's not tied to it. It's its own separate thing.
It's its own separate thing, yeah.
And then there's Until Dawn, which was the first game that they made, which I actually have because it was on PlayStation Plus. So I have it downloaded. I don't know if we would get to that, but yeah. So I have the first 3 of the anthology because I bought them on sale together.
Are you going to beat all 3 and then go back and play, or are you gonna play it again before you go to the next one?
So my fiance asked about this. She asked like, are they tied together, or like I don't know. It came up, and I was like, I think they're tied together somehow, like loosely tied together. So I don't know if I should continue or if I should just go back.
Time to do some research then.
I'm gonna have to look it up to see if like my decisions carry over into the next game somehow. Because they did show, and I was actually, it threw me off too, because like, so I don't know, it's not really a spoiler. Like in the game, you can find these pictures that show essentially what a potential outcome could be later on. It'll basically like be like a 3-second clip.
Oh, okay.
That it'll show something that might happen later on, and that you kind of have to like be wary of as you play. So there's one picture that actually showed something from the next game.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was like completely different characters. And then after you beat the game, it shows the trailer for the next game. And I was just like, that threw me off because I was like, I was not expecting that. Because I know, like, I bought the trilogy, obviously, but when the game comes out, you don't think that when was the last time a game advertised the next game within the game itself? Like that just seems so foreign to me.
Yeah, but a lot of episodic games do that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess when they planned it as an episodic thing, but I don't know. So yeah, so that I have to do some research and see how much these stories tie together, if they do at all. If not, then I'm gonna just redo it and save everybody.
Cheater.
No, that's what replay. That they want you to do that. That's the point.
True. Yeah, they want you to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I've been playing, and then I after that, I did start Bramble.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I it was funny because when I started it, it was doing like, you know how they do the little intro, like to set your like brightness and HDR settings, all that stuff. In that process, because I was just pressing A or whatever, and after I adjusted everything, it said something about like blood and gore, but like it was like so quick, I didn't even register it, and in the back of my mind I was like, did it just say there was like blood and gore in this game? So then when the game started, I was like, how this not seem the type of like something's about to go down that I'm not expecting. Yeah, not to. I won't spoil it, but I mean, I kind of did. But it takes a turn that you're not expecting.
Yeah, no, it gets dark quick. That's all. We'll just say that.
Yeah, it gets very dark. So prepare yourself.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm probably like halfway through when I started.
I love that game. You know, I love the good indie games that catch you by surprise. You know, and it's like, oh wow, this is really nice.
Yeah,
you know, it was a good game. It reminded me of like Little Nightmares meets what's this other thing, like Inside. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yes. You know what? It's funny because they in the beginning part, would it be a spoiler to say like something that like characters that appear in the game?
I mean, the game's been out for a while now.
That's true. Yeah. So there's like these little gnomes that appear in the game.
Oh yes.
So those little gnomes reminded me of the gnomes from
Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very great game. So far, I'm enjoying it.
That's good. Good. I can't wait till you beat it because the ending is crazy.
Oh, for real? Oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, we got news to get to.
Yes, we do have news. So we'll just start it off with the voice of Mario is changing. And Nintendo has announced this past week that the original voice of Mario, Charles Minette, was the voice of Mario since Super Mario 64. He's stepping down from the role. And going forward, he will serve in a brand new role that they created called the Mario Ambassador. And they haven't named a replacement. They're just creating this new role for him where he will go around the world spreading the message and or the likeness of Mario. So he will still be tied to the character. He just won't be doing any more games, I guess, or like anything related to Mario for voice acting. So I mean,
this actually caught me off guard. Like it's like one of those things like you expect. I mean, granted, he's human. He's getting older, so
yeah,
it wouldn't last forever. But it's just like it just came out of nowhere. You would think that it would be more of like well, I guess it was a celebratory thing. Like afterwards, people were like talking about their memories, not memories, but like talking about him as Mario and how much he brought the character to life and how much it means to like players. I mean, that Mario 64 was my first Mario game. So, like, he's been with me from the beginning. Actually, that was my first...
that was your first Mario game?
Well, my first Mario game. I was going to say it was my first game, but I think that's a lie. I don't think it was my first game ever. But it was my first, like, console game. I'll say that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat where they grew up with him. Like, that was the voice, like, that you... associate with Mario and Nintendo, like, and he's been the voice since, like, every single time. So it's a big thing for him to just step down. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if it was his choice. I know a lot of people kind of like on Twitter were just kind of like speculating like maybe this was like a Nintendo thing, like they said, hey, we kind of need to move forward, you're getting older, whatever. I don't know, but it just seemed very sudden. and I'm glad that he's still gonna be part of like Nintendo and like Mario. Like he's gonna be associated with it going forward, so that's a good thing. But it's just like you said, like we don't know what this means going forward. Apparently,
I mean, it is still open ended on his side. You know, who knows if he's gonna give up voice acting altogether, or I mean, he's turning 68 coming in September.
Yeah.
So it's like, is he just gonna retire, or what's gonna happen?
I mean, he would be a big get. Although, like, he could have always been like, I guess it just depends on like the contract he had with Nintendo. Like, did it? Because I know sometimes there's contracts that prohibit other people from doing other stuff. And considering he is the voice of Mario, he is essentially Mario.
Yeah.
And Nintendo would benefit to keeping him under lock and key, as opposed to letting him do other stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, they did announce that he's just gonna be the Mario ambassador. So maybe like that entails that he's not the voice actor, but just sticking with Nintendo.
He's just sticking with Nintendo. He can't do other stuff. I don't know. Because I remember. Do you remember that that guy who did the PlayStation ads? Can't remember his name.
Yeah, don't remember his name either.
But it was like towards like the mid to end of the PS3 era. Kevin Butler, I think that was his name. Maybe that was his like the character's name.
Yeah.
He did like those ads, and he was doing like those ads, and that's what in part got PlayStation back into like the good graces of like the gaming community. I think towards the end he did a commercial for the Wii, for Mario Kart specifically, and that apparently was against the contract that he had with Sony, where he was like exclusively supposed to be just for Sony, and they got rid of him after that. So it's not unheard of to see like people with specific ties to a brand stay with that brand because of a contract or whatever. So I don't know if Charles is like under contract with Nintendo to like stay, but if he can, I would love to have him like do other stuff. That would be really cool.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see for more news from Nintendo themselves, because he's been quiet on his socials. So
yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it's very weird that he hasn't said anything, or maybe he did. Maybe he just acknowledged like all the love and support that he's gotten.
Yeah,
but it also begs the question too, like what is gonna happen for like, because apparently he's not in Super Mario Wonder. So
he doesn't voice Wonder?
No, he's not in it. Like I think Nintendo, either he clarified it or Nintendo clarified that he's not in it. So I don't know who is in it. If it's actually, I mentioned in the group chat that we had that maybe they could have been like do an AI thing. That would be really scummy if Nintendo did that though.
It would be.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case, that they probably just got somebody to sign. I mean, Mario's voice is so iconic that somebody can like imitate it. So, I don't know. But but that might be a good thing too, because the fact that nobody even questioned that it sounded different. It's just sounded like Mario. So maybe it's not that bad of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
But
I didn't even know he had anything to do with Wonder. That's surprising.
Yeah, no, he had nothing to do with it. That his last role in a Mario project was the Mario movie, and a lot of people were talking about like what he actually said, and because he played the father of Mario and Luigi.
Okay.
So his last words in a Mario project was, "Those are my boys," in reference to Mario and Luigi. And it's like, that's so like poetic. That's like so perfect. I kind of want it to end that way, where he just like, "Those are my boys." Like, that's him. So
yeah,
that's that. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what this what it means going forward. But yeah, so it's really sad to see him go, but you know, that's how life goes.
That is, yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna right on to Gamescom, because Gamescom's happened this week. Out in Germany, hosted by Jeff Keighley, who hosts he created the Game Awards,
Okay.
and a lot of things came out. A lot of things were showcased at the Gamescom center, where Xbox had a huge
So
presence.
just to clarify, so Jeff Keighley had a show in Gamescom.
Yes.
It's not like he runs Gamescom.
No, he had a show in Gamescom. Yes, where
Which
they did
want
the
to
opening night.
Yeah, opening night live. I want to say though, did you see the whole thing about the guy?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so another person stormed the stage and interrupted him during his speech where they were about to show some Starfield stuff.
Right.
And they were talking about how Bill Clinton wants GTA 6 to release it. It was weird.
So I want to say it's funny because obviously it's harmless stuff. But this is really an issue that needs to be addressed because we don't know what the intentions are of these people that come on stage and do this stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that somebody was able from the crowd to get on stage and do whatever without security just jumping in, that's a problem. And I feel like Jeff needs to get that shit in order, and hopefully before the Game Awards, because that can't have this happen again. This is the second time.
Yeah, no, this is the second time. It can't happen again. It needs to have some sort of better security. And it was crazy because at this time it wasn't open to the public.
Right.
It was mostly press and it just
influencers
wasn't
and stuff like that.
Yeah, the influencers and stuff. Because the Fan Fest happened, I think it was yesterday, where they allow fans to come in. Because I know Phil Spencer was posting on social media that he was taking pictures with fans and stuff.
Right.
So it wasn't just anybody can go in. So I don't know how they're going to do that. With security wise.
Yeah, they just need better security. Just have people on right in front of the stage. Every show usually does. I think they try. Maybe I don't speak for Jeff or whatever. Maybe they try to keep less security to be more more intimate, more relaxed and stuff like that. But the fact that this keeps happening is not good, and it's gonna deter a lot of developers and publishers from even attending. No, they don't want to be on stage if they're if somebody could just walk up and do whatever they want.
They're gonna get attacked.
Yeah, they could get attacked. It's really scary. Not for nothing. You don't know what they're capable of. If they had a weapon, heaven forbid, we don't know. That's the scary
tons of
part.
crazies out there. You gotta take precautions.
Exactly. So I just hope he takes this stuff seriously. Going forward. But anyway.
I'm sure they will, especially after now this is the second time. It's okay, now we definitely have to, really ramp up security here.
Right.
Yeah. But besides that one little hiccup, Gamescom really started off strong. They were showing gameplay footage of Starfield, which was getting so much hype and so much attention, especially because Xbox had a huge presence at Gamescom this year. Phil Spencer was there doing interviews with IGN and everybody. So was Todd Howard. He was doing interviews, and they were showcasing the games. They had many different stages where you can try Black Myth Wukong, Stalker 2, and just so many things that they were shown.
Towerborn, I heard it was playable.
Yes, that was playable for sure. They even showed Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Zack Snyder was there doing interviews. So it was a big endeavor for games in general. And they announced some things Little Nightmares 3 was announced.
What?
Yes, Little Nightmares 3 was announced.
How did I miss this?
I don't know how.
Hold on. Did they have a trailer?
They have a trailer. Yes, they do.
Oh my god.
They have a whole trailer. And they're bringing co-op to it, so that's really
what?
Yes, it looks really, really dope. It's sort of like a what was that co-op game that just came out that was nearly Game of the Year?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. It's sort of like It Takes Two but darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really dope. So
How did I miss this? Crazy. I
Well,
love
that's why
Little
we-
Nightmares.
this
I
is why we
literally
do
have
the news.
exactly. You see, look, I'm being informed. Look at that.
Yeah. So yeah, you should watch the trailer. The trailer was really good. So they
Yeah, I'm
announced
gonna watch it. Yeah.
they announced the Little Nightmares 3. They have the trailer up on YouTube. Black Myth Wukong got another additional trailer as well because they had it on the show floor at Gamescom, and Destin from IGN was playing it. He said the gameplay was amazing. He loved it. So that got me hyped for the game because I'm iffy on it because I'm not really a Souls-like, player. I played and beat Elden Ring, but that was my first one.
I was gonna say that's the easiest one of all the Souls games.
Don't out me. So yeah, so like I want to get into this because I love Wukong and like that mythology with Son Goku and all that. So like I want to play it. I just want to be able to play it.
Right.
So they announced so much things like Ages of Empires 4 Anniversary Edition was released
that
Game
got
Pass.
shadow dropped. Yeah.
Yes. And they also announced they showed some more stuff from Assassin's Creed Mirage, Tekken 8. They showed footage and gameplay from a whole mission from Modern Warfare 3 that's coming out. They have more gameplay from Lords of the Fallen, and it was just so much at Gamescom. It was great to see people there. They showed Cyberpunk, the new Phantom Liberty DLC. Just so much things going on, so much things you can try and play and see and interact even with, like I said, Phil Spencer was taking pictures with fans and they were doing interviews, and a lot of the interviews are up on YouTube where you can check them out just to see and hear from the executives over at Xbox because they have a big presence there at Gamescom this year. It was really great to see the community get together in person again, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
To see everything come about for gaming, for not just what's coming this year, but potentially what's coming for next year. Because out of Gamescom, we did get that Stalker 2, although it was playable, will be released in 2024, not this year.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. I mean, that's to be expected. I give Stalker 2 the pass because of what the developers are currently dealing with in the Ukraine and the war over there. So I give them all the time that they need because I know the game is going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. We just got to give them the time to get it right and get it out. So they did say Q1 2024. So let's hope by March we'll see it.
And not for nothing, it's probably for the best because this year's already like stacked.
Oh yeah,
like just especially October, like it's just like so many games coming out within a short time span that it's like, you know what, it's not the worst thing to be delayed into next year. Because I felt like there was another time where this happened where like everybody was maybe it was probably the year that GTA 5 released, that everybody was like moving out the way, so, I'm pretty sure like a lot of devs and publishers are trying to avoid conflicting with like the bigger games that are coming out, like Spider-Man and Starfield and Alan Wake. So
Alan Wake got pushed back as well.
It got pushed back, till later on in
October. So it's like everybody's coming out. It seems like you said, October is super stacked. We have Mortal Kombat, Alan Wake, Spider-Man 2. There's a couple other I'm missing, but it's like 3 or 4. Mario Wonders is coming out in October.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Look, that's stacked. Like,
that's just those games, and there's so many more that we're not even mentioning. That
it's absolutely ridiculous. This year is the year for gaming because so many things are coming out, and it just like a lot of them, they're all coming out to both Xbox and PlayStation as well as PC. So it's like, where do you have the time?
I sure don't.
Where do you have the money?
That too. That's another aspect.
Yeah, because like, oh man, it's absolutely stacked. And it feels like everybody left September for Starfield because they know how big Starfield is.
Yeah.
So like everybody went to October because
True. That's
they're
so
like, just
weird.
leave September alone because it's coming out.
They knew.
Yeah.
Even freaking. I mean, we'll get to it, but Baldur's Gate, that they kind of sort of left the September because they're releasing only on PlayStation in September.
Yes.
But they released, I think, earlier on PC because I think the initial release date was supposed to be September, but then they released earlier on PC.
They did.
Yeah, so they avoided Starfield as well, kinda.
Everybody's avoiding Starfield.
Yeah, that's honestly, the more I hear about Starfield, like with interviews, and even now, because I remember, I think last episode that we were talking about like the advertising, like everybody was talking about.
Yes.
That there was where's the advertising? Like literally, I have not.
Now you can't get away from it.
I cannot escape all the ads and commercials and brand deals, and it's just.
The live action trailer that they did for Starfield was amazing. I was like, oh my god.
Yo, I have not felt this excited for a game since like Halo 3.
Yeah,
like, it's so like it's the hype is real. I cannot wait for next week. I took off Friday because August 30th.
Oh, wow.
Technically it comes out August
Thursday
31st.
at 8.
Thursday at 8 p.m.
Yes.
That's my birthday. So happy birthday to me. So I'm gonna, but see, that's the thing. We record on Thursday, so we're gonna have to figure out how that's gonna work out. But yeah, so I'm already ready. I took the day off Friday, so I'm gonna be playing all night. Like, oh, I cannot wait, man.
I took time off in September, so I have time off.
Okay. And I think that's Labor Day weekend too. So most people have that 3-day weekend.
Yes,
so.
they have I'll have a 2-day weekend because I'll have Sunday, Monday off. But it's still a lot of time to play Starfield.
Yes.
And they did mention, because they're actually allowed people to play it at Gamescom, and they did mention that
which is interesting because originally they said they weren't gonna have it playable.
It was a very select few people. It wasn't like open to the public or anything.
Okay. I know they had like a whole like setup. Like it was.
They did.
Yeah.
It was like a spaceship console. Like you could sit down in this chair, and it was absolutely insane.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But they did show a lot of it. Like on this big screen. They showed like 40 minutes of gameplay to the public, or to the devs and all the people that would get to go, influencers and stuff. So they did show a lot of it out, and the hype is absolutely real. Everybody was coming out of the theater at Gamescom talking about it. So I can't wait for the embargo to lift for both the reviews and the early access, so we can finally dive deep into the universe of Starfield.
While we're talking about Starfield, I do want to mention that so there was, I don't know if you heard about the leaker who leaked like 40 minutes of footage or whatever.
Yep.
And actually brother Matt was he got spoiled by it because I guess he came across it and he saw it and he posted in the chat about it. He actually got arrested because of this. I don't know.
It wasn't because of this.
It was in addition to, like, he got arrested because he was apparently selling stuff that he stole from the store.
Yeah, he worked at a warehouse, and he was stealing the stuff from the warehouse they worked at to sell it at an online store that he used to make money.
Right.
And so that's why he got arrested. Of course, he also had drugs on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he didn't get arrested for leaking Starfield. But
no. I know. I didn't mean to like imply that he got arrested.
Oh, that's what I thought you were saying.
No. That'd be some crazy shit. Like Bethesda don't play.
No, they don't play. I mean, they did ban him from Xbox. They did ban him. They hardware banned him. So, like, he will never be able to play anything on Xbox ever again.
They banned his hardware and they banned his account. So he's done.
Yeah, he's done. Which is, that's what happens when you break NDA. They give you a code and trusting you to, write up your review. They gave you plenty of time. They give you over 2 weeks to play the game, write a review, and then release it.
I think he just got the physical copy because he was at, like you said, he worked at a warehouse. So he probably got the discs, and he was just playing it. Like, I guess I don't see that's the crazy thing too, because I don't know, maybe Starfield doesn't have a day one patch. Usually it does. Like, these games come with day one patches, so like I don't know how he was able to play without getting banned. Like, I don't know. It's just,
well, some actually some they were talking about this at Gamescom. The version of the game that people are playing is like 1.6, not 1.1. So they've actually been working on this, and they're still currently working on fixing any bugs and stuff coming out. So I'm sure by the time it officially releases September 6th, it's gonna be like 1.9 probably. So they're actively working.
Okay. So
yeah,
but still, like, just don't do it. Like, I mean, granted, he didn't get arrested for it, but it's just like, that's not gonna help your case. The
definitely
fact
not.
that you were selling stuff and you leaked all this shit, like, it's just don't do it.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Do not.
All right. So listen, we have some PlayStation news. Some PlayStation Portal. So that was the code name. Was it Q?
It was Project Q.
Project Q is now PlayStation Portal, which is the handheld over Wi-Fi remote player. And they announced the price and the size. The LCD, it's an 8-inch LCD screen running at 1080p resolution at 60 FPS. They announced that it's going to be $199.99, so $200. And it's getting sort of mixed reviews out there for what's been officially been released, because it's just like they said, it's over Wi-Fi. You have to have the games downloaded on your PS5. Your PS5 has to be on the same network. You have to so it doesn't run any games natively, and there's actually no indication of how long the battery life actually lasts on this little controller handheld Portal that they made. So there are a lot of people wondering if this is even worth it, because it's basically just your phone with a controller on it.
Yeah, I mean, so when this first was announced at it was the PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was just like, this doesn't really look, even from like the physical like design of it, it doesn't look appealing. Like, it literally looks like they split a PS5 controller in two and put a screen in it, and that was it. They called it a day. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I just feel like that was really lazy. But it's like, maybe like through software, like maybe the actual product itself might be different. But it's like, as more information comes out about it, it just seems like, and the fact that they're kind of like just, they didn't even have a trailer for it. Like, there was nothing. It was just kind of like, here, this is what we're calling it now, and this are the details. Like, they kind of just like slipped it under the rug. Yeah. Hopefully it'll get lost in the all the games. It's just, I don't know. Like, why is this even a thing? Like, I don't know that portable gaming is becoming a thing now, like with the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. And now with the
Legion Go.
The Legion Go, and there was another one. It was Logitech, I think it was.
Oh yeah, the Logitech one. Yeah,
the Logitech. That one's streaming only.
But
the fact that like mobile gaming is starting to like ramp up, and more players are starting to enter the field, so to speak.
But even with the Logitech, that can stream games. The PlayStation Portal cannot stream games.
No,
that's the thing.
It can't stream games from the cloud. It can only stream games currently from the PS5 that you already own.
Yeah, it has to be downloaded on there. So there's no streaming. It's not like the Steam Deck or Logitech or even the ROG Ally.
Yeah,
it's literally, if you have a PS5 and you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network,
So did they say that it had to be on the same Wi-Fi? Because I've heard mixed things.
Yeah, they're saying it has to be on the same network, and you have to have a connection capable of at least 5 megabits, and they recommend at least 15 for the best experience. and
that I don't. Yeah,
and then you can't even use the Pulse 3D headset, the wireless headset for the PlayStation.
That was
because it doesn't support Bluetooth.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just gonna say I did hear about that, and that part kind of just like what? Like
why would it uses a PlayStation Link wireless technology, which is Sony's proprietary standard for PlayStation devices, and you'll have to buy a
specific headset.
A specific headset, which is like $200 if you want to use it. It's ridiculous. It's basically Apple all over again.
I was just gonna say this is like Apple levels of like anti-consumer practices.
Yeah, it's very scummy of them.
I don't understand why they did. Does it even have a headphone jack? Like
it does. It does have a headphone jack.
Okay, so
it does have a headphone jack. But people spend so much money. Like I have the Pulse 3D headset. I spent like almost $200 on that headset. You tell me I can't use my $200 headset on a PlayStation Portal? Like that's kind of scummy.
Yeah.
Now I gotta buy another $200 headset. Like come on now.
Yeah. I'm not against the idea of like a streaming console or a streaming handheld specific for like a console or whatever. I just don't know why they limited it so much. Like this could have been something really like something that differentiates itself from like Xbox. I know Xbox, it supports the ROG Ally and Steam Deck technically. So, like, they have their thing, but, like, this was just for PlayStation. You can't use anything else. Like, this is just PlayStation.
Yeah.
And you would think they would kind of make it more, like, all-encompassing. Like, yeah, you could stream games from your PlayStation. You could stream game from PS Plus, what was the higher tier?
The premium?
Extra premium, yeah. You could stream games from there. Like, and, like, I feel like they should have gone all out on this device. But they didn't, and I'm just wondering like why is this even a device? And also the price point. I get maybe $200 is not that big of a deal for a lot of people, but if it's just streaming, I feel like that could be a deal breaker for people, because for $50 more you can get like a Series S for on during a sale or something.
Ooh, watch your mouth. The pony's gonna come after you.
or for exactly $200, you can get a Switch Lite that plays games natively. Yeah. So it's like, I don't really understand the price point. Maybe obviously it's the technology and it has the features that the PS5 controller has.
I think you're giving them too much leeway here.
No.
The technology is out there to do it, because if we got the ROG Ally, if we have the Steam Deck, they can put some. I mean, for crying out loud, these are the people that created the PlayStation Portable. You know, the PSP, the original PSP, which was ahead of its time, and then we get this now in 2023. That's for me. I think this is a loss for PlayStation.
Yeah,
they could have created something that rivaled the PlayStation Portable, but no, they created a PlayStation Portal, and people were even dubbing this the new PSP because it's PlayStation Portal, and I'm like, no, PSP was PSP. It was ahead of its time, and it was way better than this.
I think the reason why this thing like even exists is PlayStation's hesitance to create a dedicated handheld device, because they had success with the PSP, and then they tried it again with the PS Vita, and they just fell flat on their face. So they were stuck in a position where they had to create a handheld device. Well, maybe not had to, but they felt compelled to create a handheld device that can also play games available on PlayStation 5. But you can't necessarily do that at a reasonable price point, because obviously you look at the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, like those are
they're expensive.
They're very expensive.
$600, $700 for them.
More expensive than the PS5. So there's no way they were going to be able to do that for a handheld, to basically a PS5 portable. There's no way they were going to be able to do that. Yeah. So they had to find a way that they could give that PS5 experience, but at basically like at a compromise, essentially, which is streaming. Obviously, streaming is the new thing.
Yeah.
Is more devices are becoming capable of like, even on the Switch you could stream games. There's cloud versions of games that are ported to Switch. So I get the idea behind it. It's just like I felt like it was so like maybe not rushed, but it was just like poorly planned out. Like I said, even the design, it just doesn't look like appealing. It just it looks like somebody at a workshop. You know, have you ever seen what's his name? I think his name is Ben Heck. He was like a YouTuber. I mean, he probably still makes YouTube videos, but like he used to make like custom consoles, custom controllers, and custom like different like stuff that he made himself. Like he would engineer it to become like something that people could use. Like he made the first before like the accessibility controller that Xbox has, and now that PlayStation's gonna release. He made his own personal like accessibility controller where you can like move stuff with your arms and your legs and stuff like that. So he would engineer stuff to make it more like different from the actual product itself. The PlayStation Portal looks exactly like that. It just looks like a fan project that they wanted to make something portable. And I don't know. It feels like they tried to get into the game too quickly without actually looking at like the logistics of it. And it's like, are people actually gonna buy this thing? Obviously,
I mean,
people
will.
are gonna. Yeah, people will buy this thing.
I feel like this is a niche market. You know.
Yes,
it's like,
absolutely.
It's even more niche than the PlayStation VR. Because like, I mean, if you're a super hardcore PlayStation fan and you're really using remote play in your house with your phone or let's say your iPad or whatever or any tablet, then maybe this is for you. But I don't think this is for every single PlayStation owner, especially because it's $200 extra. And if you want to use wireless headsets, you have to spend another $200. That's literally $400.
Yeah.
When you could just buy probably another PS5.
True, exactly, yeah. And not for nothing, I mean, granted, I haven't used it in a while. Like, I used it last year. Remote play for PlayStation 5, maybe it's just me. I mean, this is anecdotal evidence. This is just personal, my experience. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Because there will be times where I couldn't use the TV because either my fiance was watching something or the kids watched whatever. I couldn't use my TV. So I remember when I was playing God of War, I wanted to play it. So I would stream it with remote play to my PC. And mind you, I have gigabit and internet. And it's hardwired. My PS5 and my PC, hardwired. Yep. And I was still seeing like so much like lag, digital artifacts like that like muddy up the picture quality.
Yeah.
And the latency. Like it was almost unplayable. Honestly, I had to go to, because when I record gameplay, I use my capture card. I literally had to use my capture card just to play the game because using remote play was not working out. So granted, like I said, this is just my experience, but if that's the case, this thing is gonna suffer greatly because the latency and the lag and all that stuff, that's gonna play a factor into this thing. So it's like, again, it's like I try to wrap my head around why they thought this was a good idea, and it's not adding up to me. Granted, other people might have different experiences and different circumstances that may like contribute to a better experience. But personally, in my experience, I don't think this is worth it. Maybe if it was like $100, maybe $150, I could see it. But $200, that's too steep.
Yeah, like I said, it's a niche market, so we'll see. We know it's gonna sell anyway. It's just, you know, the same thing with PlayStation VR. We knew it was gonna sell anyway, but it is still niche and rarely supported natively still. So
Yeah.
We'll see how it comes in the coming months, how it pans out for Sony.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll just continue with some more Sony news, because we just found out that Sony, not PlayStation, but Sony Interactive Entertainment, they just acquired high-end headphones maker Audi's. So they the Sony who acquired them, they are using them to try and make more better headsets, because Audi's has patents that they use patent technology for plano magnetic drivers to deliver an outstanding sound experience. So it's like they acquired them for their patents. That's what they acquired them for, because they have some really good tech inside their headphones. So maybe this will lead to better headset quality on the PlayStation, because although PlayStation didn't acquire them, of course they'll be able to access this new technology for their headsets.
Right. I mean, this is a lot of people on Twitter were kind of like making fun of this, like, oh, you see Xbox acquiring ABK and this is the response, like. But no, this is actually it's not a bad acquisition, obviously. I mean, technically this is not a PlayStation acquisition, so but it could be used for PlayStation,
Yeah,
like in general. So I mean, I generally don't use, because I still rock my freaking why am I blanking on the name? The Astro A50s.
Oh, you got A50s?
Yes, I got A50.
Oh, I got A40s.
I literally been using these since like I can't even remember, like that. It's been so long since I've had these, and they're still holding true. And I have to do a little bit like workaround to get it working on like both consoles, because it's the Xbox version. And if I wanted to use it with my PS5, I have to like put it in PC mode, and then I gotta like adjust some settings or whatever. But it works, so that's all I care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this means more why am I blanking on the word? Choice, like more choice to PlayStation gamers in regards to like headsets and stuff like that, then that's great. Obviously,
Yeah.
like, and
I mean,
like,
they've been working together for quite some time. They're just now acquiring them.
I was gonna say, did they make the PlayStation headset? Because I know the PlayStation headset now, I've heard that it's not the best.
What, you talking about the Pulse 3D one?
Yeah, that one.
I mean, it's all right. They've been actually been working with Audi's on the Pulse Explore earbuds and the Pulse Elite headset. So they, like I said, they've been working together for some time. I think now they're just acquiring them, mostly so that way they can have their patents and their technology in the Sony family.
Right.
Because remember, Sony makes headphones as well. You know, they make some really decent, really good headphones as well. So I think it's overall a Sony, thing where, they just want to bolster that particular market for themselves. Not so much as a PlayStation thing, but PlayStation gets to, have the benefits of that.
Yeah, I mean, and Sony does have like a foothold in like the headset market, so like people do trust Sony for like headset quality and stuff like that. So
yeah, they do.
It makes
Definitely.
sense.
Definitely. And we'll mention a little bit now, because we're still on Sony. They mentioned that Tom Holland and Chris Pratt are gonna appear in a Jak and Daxter movie.
Oh yeah. It's
so
funny. Yeah, it's so funny that like Chris Pratt is like, he's just doing the rounds of video game movies. Next he's gonna be in the Gears of War movie apparently. But
oh no, he's gonna be Baird.
You know what? That wouldn't be a bad casting, actually.
That's not a bad casting.
But yeah, so Chris Pratt goes from Mario to, well, we don't know. No, I think they said that he was actually gonna play Daxter.
I don't know.
Which is weird, because if anything, like, because Tom Holland, he screams like, or like when I look at him, I feel like he would be the Daxter. And then I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but
yeah, it was just a funny little anecdote to add in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will be interested to see like how this movie plays out, because it's also because Chris Pratt and Tom Holland did do a movie together in shoot, what? It's the Pixar movie. Where they play
Pixar
like,
movie?
they play like elves or something like that. Why am I blanking on the name?
I don't know.
I don't know. They did a Pixar movie. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it right now. But it was a really great movie. I remember seeing it in the theaters. That was actually the last movie I saw before the shutdown from COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that much. But yeah, no. So they do have a chemistry together, and
They do.
obviously they're all both in Marvel, like Spider-Man and Star-Lord. They had interactions. Yeah, no, this is interesting because like now we're starting to see Sony get into like adapting their IPs into movies. Like now we just saw, what was it? Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
That's
Gran
a
Turismo.
movie. And then it's not a movie, but it's a TV show, Twisted Metal, which I heard is actually very good. So I'm inclined to check it out because I've heard that it's actually pretty entertaining.
Well, you go ahead and do that for the both of us. Let me stop.
If I ever get to it, I'll check back and I'll let you know. But yeah, no, this is pretty cool. Like I was always a big fan of Jak and Daxter. That was like my first like PlayStation IP that I got really into. Technically my first one was Jak 2. I played that one first, and then I went back to Jak 1 because I liked it so much.
How you go backwards?
And then, hey, listen, I got it for Christmas. I didn't know what it was. I played it. I went back. All right.
All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But yeah, so I mean, this is cool. I mean,
yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So we'll continue on now because now we're getting into Baldur's Gate 3. Like we mentioned earlier, some Baldur's Gate 3 news popped up out of Gamescom because the head of Larian Studios had a meeting with Phil Spencer, and he claims that they found a solution to bring Baldur's Gate 3 to the Xbox this year, not into next year like it was originally quoted by the head of Larian. So they're going to bring, there's no official date, but they will bring it to the consoles this year, which is great news for Xbox fans because right now Baldur's Gate 3 is the big RPG that everybody's playing and talking about, and including me having fun playing it on Steam.
Yes.
And we know it's coming to PlayStation first, and now it will be coming to Xbox. So they made a sort of compromise, so it will come out on Xbox, both Series X and S, but the Series S version will not have split screen co-op.
Yeah.
But they will be working on it. It will eventually come to to Series S. They just have to take more time. So they sort of made an exception to the rule that we were talking about last week.
The parity rule.
Yeah. I mean, the game will still be out and you still play it, on both consoles, but just without split screen on the Series S. Now it begs to the question: Does anybody still play split screen co-op?
Yeah, that's been the hot topic lately in terms of like what is acceptable for like a release, and apparently a lot of people like split screen co-op. So
at least according to them pounding their chests on Twitter.
Right. Yeah. So when we spoke last about the whole Series S stuff, I was a proponent of not making exceptions because it leads to, it basically is like a slippery slope to other developers being like, hey, why is this the exception but not for us? Like, obviously, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. The Series S seems to be the choking point for a lot of developers, at least smaller developers, because I mean, bigger developers, obviously they have more resources, they can throw money at it and make it work. Because I mean, we don't hear issues with like games like Call of Duty and Battlefield when it comes to this stuff. Like they run on Series S fine.
Yeah.
So at least when it comes to smaller developers, it seems to be like an issue where obviously it's not going to run the same, but because of Xbox's parity requirements, they have to make it run the same, or at least close to the same. Like I think it's feature parity. It's not like performance parity.
Yes.
Because obviously the Series S runs at a lower resolution. So
Yeah.
I was always saying like, no, just you have to get it right because it's gonna lead to a slippery slope. And while I'm still of that mindset, I do feel like because of the whole popularity of Baldur's Gate, like literally this game came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And although it's weird because this game has been early access for like 3 years or something like that. So I don't know why it came out of nowhere, but it did. And it became like so popular and it just blew up over the summer.
It became popular because of Karlak, all right? She is hot.
I don't know who that is.
No, I know. She's like, you've seen videos of her probably.
Yes,
she's one of they call them tieflings. So she's like the demon looking one.
I do know my D&D lore somewhat. So I do know I am a tiefling in one of my campaigns.
Okay.
So I think it blew up in popularity, and I think it probably caught Xbox off guard because they were still sticking to this parody thing. If they would have caught it earlier on, I believe that they probably would have made the decision that they made recently about the whole parody thing. They would have made the exception. I think they didn't anticipate how popular Baldur's Gate would have become. And now that it's literally the second most played game on Steam?
Yeah.
Second only to CS:GO. Like that's insane.
Yeah, at one point they had nearly 1 million concurrent players.
That is insane amount of people like that, not just buying the game, but playing the game at the same time. That's crazy. And the fact that this is only coming to PlayStation, and who knows when the Xbox version was gonna come, like that probably caught them off guard, and it was just like, okay, if this is happening, we gotta fix it. So I think that's why they made the exception.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really too much. I want people, because I'm seeing a lot of discourse online where they're saying, "Oh, Phil Spencer lied about the propriety on it." They're saying,
"No,
he lied." He didn't lie. All he did was say that we were gonna keep that clause. Everybody has to make it, but the Series S edition for this is just not gonna support split screen. So if you do have a Series S and you buy it, you just won't be able to play split screen. But people aren't playing this for split screen. They're playing it for online multiplayer so they can play with their friends like a D&D game.
Right.
And also, how much is people are really playing split screen?
Yeah, I think that's also like what people are neglecting to mention is that literally throughout the whole 360 era, and PS3 era, and even the Xbox One and PS4 era, almost every game dropped split screen that used to have it because it just wasn't physically possible. And we accepted it because it was like, it was just everything's moving like online, and that's just how it is now. So the fact that people are trying to like use split screen as like, oh, it must have split screen, like how can you like neglect split screen? It's been such a staple. It's like, first of all, the people that are talking about Baldur's Gate probably didn't even know it existed before it showed up on the PlayStation showcase. Like, let's be real. The fact that people don't even know that Larian didn't make Baldur's Gate 2 and 1. They didn't make those games. It was a different studio. Yeah. So they got the IP, and now they're making Baldur's Gate 3. So people are trying to like pretend like they know about Baldur's Gate, and obviously they're using it for like console war stuff. But where was I going with this? I forgot. But yeah, it was just I think
the discourse around this,
the discourse around it was
misplaced especially by the PlayStation community, because they did use it for their console wars, and now they can't because it's coming to Xbox. So it's a lot of moving parts. And I think the meeting with Phil Spencer at Gamescom and the heads of the area, they just wanted to make sure that it was coming to Xbox.
Right, because also
they even sent out devs. You know, they sent out a team to go help them. So
yeah,
no matter what, it was never a PlayStation exclusive. All that discourse on Twitter was all just, you know, fanboys hyping it up.
true. And also the fact that in a lot of people's minds, this is a Game of the Year contender, and the fact that it's not going to be on Xbox probably didn't sit well with Microsoft. So they probably had to, like, they were kind of forced to be like, okay, we have to make an exception.
I mean,
to make this game run.
Yeah, if it's Microsoft's rule that every game has to come out for both Series X and S and run well, then they should step up. Microsoft should step up. Xbox needs to send, you know, help to the smaller developers if they need help. And we know that they have these type of programs because, you know, Idea Xbox is there and they always help, you know, indie devs. So we know that there's ways that they can help these smaller developers out getting their games onto Xbox, because Xbox cannot miss these popular high-end gaming that people want to play. We just can't do it anymore. Xbox cannot miss these games. So I think now they realize that, and now they're going to be stepping up more to give help to these developers. And a quick side note and shout out to Idea Xbox. It's been 10 years. 10 years that Idea Xbox has been around, where they have cultivated some great games coming out of there. Some very good indie games. Even Fortnite started out very early on in Idea Xbox. So without Idea Xbox, we wouldn't have as many great indie games and developers that we do have today. So big shout out to the people who work over at Idea Xbox for their 10-year anniversary.
Wow. That's really impressive. I didn't know about the whole Fortnite thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was early builds of Fortnite started.
Yeah,
It started out in Idea Xbox. Yeah, so many games do. They start out Idea Xbox and they grow. You know.
Yeah, that's true. But all in all, I do think a lot of people are blowing this out of proportion about the whole split screen thing. But I'm glad that Microsoft and Xbox was able to see the situation and just make a move to make sure that Xbox gets this game, because they can't, obviously this is the talk of the town. Granted, they have Starfield coming, but it's you don't want to be the one to be when people are talking about Baldur's Gate and all the versions that they're playing on, if you have an Xbox, you can't talk about it because you don't have it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see all this go away come August 31st at 8 p.m.
No. Starfield, Starfield's going to take over. So that's like I said, that's why, I mean, obviously I don't know, but it seems like that's why they released so early. So that way they could capitalize and take over the summer drought, because that's usually how it happens.
Well, you know, the loudmouths, as we can say on Twitter, who don't have access to Starfield unless they buy it on Xbox, they have to be loud about something. But they have to talk about something because they're not playing Starfield.
You're right, but it's funnier because the game's not even on PlayStation yet. So it's
I know.
Why are they talking about it anyway? That's beside the point.
Yeah. So we'll get into the last bit of news, because it is some updates to the ABK acquisition, and it came out that Microsoft, in efforts to appease the concerns from the CMAs, which is the UK's competitive markets agency, they are divesting the cloud section of ABK to Ubisoft. So Brad Smith came out and made a statement. His statement says, to address concerns about the impact of the proposed acquisition on cloud gaming streaming raised by the UK Competitive and Markets Authority, we are reconstructing the transaction to acquire a narrow set of rights. This includes executing an agreement effective at the closing of our merger that transfers the cloud streaming rights for all current and new Activision Blizzard PC and console games released over the next 15 years to Ubisoft Entertainment, a leading global game publisher. The rights will be in perpetuity. So, for the next 15 years after the deal closes, all the cloud gamings will be available onto every cloud streaming service that they already have a deal, and it will be also on Ubisoft. And that's a big news coming from out of Microsoft with the CMAs, because that means that they have to go through a whole nother round of looking at the deal and going over everything. It sort of extends the whole process a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot, and this is honestly like very unexpected. Because when we first heard that Microsoft might be divesting cloud, I think initially people assumed that it was going to be, what was it, like that EE company in the UK or something like that. So the fact that they're actually going above and beyond, because right now, based on what this proposal says, they're going outside of the European Economic Area. Outside of that, every country is going to basically, for ABK games, is going to have those games appear on Ubisoft Plus.
Yes.
And I've heard mixed things. I'm not 100% sure if it includes the US, but I would assume so, because that's not the European Economic Area.
It would still be on xCloud and stuff like that.
Yes, because obviously Microsoft has deals in place with Ubisoft for specific games. But based on what I've read, that so they're basically selling off the streaming rights to Ubisoft, and Ubisoft basically takes the responsibility of licensing these games out to other streaming platforms. That includes xCloud, that includes in PlayStation Plus, that includes Nvidia, all those. Even
but
Amazon
those deals
Luna
that they signed with Nvidia, Boosteroid, Ubidus, and Ware, those are all still in play. They still get all of that. This is now just an extra deal to try and to sort of appease the CMA and their so-called concerns for cloud gaming. So all those deals still stand. Everything still stands about the whole acquisition, except for the cloud services that are going to Ubisoft.
Right.
So it's just an interesting time, because now, I mean, we couldn't get an answer from the CMAs from the CAT tribunal and everything. So now back to different. Now they got to do more work to try and do another level 1 or phase 1 investigation. So I think they're still pushing, because if I'm not mistaken, news came out today about them, the CAT tribunal trying to push for an October 18th sort of like hearing to hear everything.
So the CAT tribunal, they rescheduled their hearing for the original deal. Because I remember, because it was the appeal that Microsoft had with the CAT tribunal to basically like get this overturned. That date is now set for October 23rd, I believe, which is past the deadline for this acquisition, which is October 18th. So I think basically this puts more pressure on the CMA to not stall and not delay, because if they do, then basically all this work would be for nothing, and Microsoft would be in their in their right to appeal, and they would get their original deal, which would not include Ubisoft. So I think this is honestly, it shows how committed Microsoft is to this acquisition. That they're willing
to go above and beyond.
Yeah, they're willing to bring in a whole third-party publisher in Ubisoft to basically run things on the cloud side for them, so that way they can get this through. Because honestly, like I said before, like they have deals already with Ubisoft to put their games on Game Pass and xCloud and whatever.
Yeah. I think ultimately, if this doesn't work, or the CMAs can't get in order their affairs to try and come to some sort of agreement, I think the Microsoft should just pull out of UK. They just need to be
Nah.
like, listen, you're not there for business. You're not open for business. We're gone.
No,
You know, really show it to them. I know that's not going to happen. That's just me being cynical about the whole situation.
yeah, I mean, if they were petty, they probably would do that. So the thing is, they can't. Like, obviously, we know that Microsoft is going to make more acquisitions going forward. So they kind of have to play nice in order for them to be like, hey, see, look, we can play ball. We can agree and work things out. So let us buy more other stuff. So that way.
Nah. CMA's is acting up, man. We gotta get Dark Phil Spencer out here.
Dark Phil Spencer.
No, I'm just playing.
No, but yeah, so yeah, I mean this is kind of unprecedented too, but
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how things plays out. I do think the CMA will, because there's really no reason, especially now that that PlayStation Ray signed a deal, and now they have the Ubisoft signing a deal to basically run the cloud business of Microsoft outside of the EU. It just doesn't make any sense for them to block it now. Like, all their concerns have been addressed. So it's really just a timetable now, or it's up to them to make sure that they get done before that October, which I think, honestly, it probably doesn't even get past August. I mean, granted, maybe I'm just being optimistic.
No, that's being very optimistic.
Yeah.
Because August is, that's
August
like 5
is
days,
next,
bro.
yeah, it's next
I don't know
week.
what you know, you're being too optimistic. I'm being too dark. We need a
Maybe.
middle ground here.
I know we do, but yeah, no, I think that the CMA does move, as they say, swiftly.
No.
I think all of this is mostly formality. They have to say like, oh, this is the new date, and this is the proposal that we're saying, and the CMA has to say that they're starting a new phase 1 because they have to. Like, I think it's just optics. They have to show that they're going through the process as intended.
I understand that, but I feel like people are putting too much faith in the CMA. I don't have any faith in them that they'll do, right by what they say they were gonna do. They haven't done right by what they said. So I have very little faith in the CMA into getting anything done in a productive or timely manner. I think Microsoft originally they should have just kept the CAT Tribunal date and not work with the CMAs, because I don't think that they're gonna come to a solution. I think the CMA is just pulling it along and delaying as much as possible. I don't think they're have good faith in this. That's just my opinion.
You have a right to your opinion. I think
That's true.
I see. Mainly, I'm basing my my opinions based on, because we've been following a lot of journalists throughout this whole process, especially guys like False Patents on Twitter. Like he's been right. Like, he hasn't been wrong throughout this whole thing. So like, he says like it's mostly just formality. Like, they have to do this stuff. I mean, granted, there's things that he doesn't know, but it's really based on what he said. I don't think there's any worry here, but we'll see. It really just comes down to how the CMA proceeds, and obviously we'll keep you guys updated.
Yes, we definitely will.
Find out, because I feel like over the past few weeks it's kind of been kind of dull.
It's been very quiet, especially on the CMA news.
Yeah. Once they renegotiated the CAT Tribunal stuff and said that they were gonna reintroduce the deal in a new form, like, ever since then, like, it's just been kind of quiet. But
yeah,
obviously we will not stop until we get the deal closed. Like, for sure,
definitely.
But yeah, so we'll just see. We'll see how this plays out.
Yep. And that's it there. I think we'll wrap it up. That's it. That's all we got.
That is it. That's all we got. We got plenty of news. Talk about Gamescom, all this and that. So thank you for listening. I forgot to mention on the top of the show, but please like and subscribe and share this video out if you're watching on YouTube. It really would do a lot for us, because we're slowly gaining more viewers and more subscribers, but we wanna keep going. We wanna keep that momentum going.
Definitely, we appreciate everybody.
Absolutely. If you're listening on podcasts, obviously just rate us, give us like 5 stars, because we're the best like that, we are 5 stars. But yeah, so if you could do that, that would help out too. And that's it. Any closing thoughts, words, anything?
Nope, we're all good. See you guys next week.
See you. Peace.